You are now entering the box. All right, we are back after what a year's hiatus for Inside the Box. We took off when we bought the new building. Things just got busy, and we had to take a little bit of a break, and it ended up being a long break, much longer than I wanted. But we're back inside the box in our new studio, our new podcast room, and I'm pretty excited, a little bit nervous. It's been so long. But I am here with stylist, hairstylist, mother of my children, the one and only Jessica Bartlett.
I was wondering what my introduction was going to be.
I don't know. I was just couldn't decide. Hi, babe.
Hi, how are you?
This is going to be really weird because I don't know whether to call her Jessica, babe. It's just babe all the time, most of the time. Jessica, welcome.
Thank you. What a pleasure.
Were you nervous to come on today?
Yeah, I kind of wanted a script.
A script?
Well, yeah, I almost asked you
Look
like what we were going to talk about.
I don't even know. I was a little bit nervous for this one.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, geez, these are usually like an hour. I don't even know when Jessica and I get an hour to sit and talk one-on-one uninterrupted.
It doesn't
seem like it ever
often.
happens. Okay, so I got to give you a question to start. And usually I ask people that are business owners, and yourself as a business owner, the hardest part of being a business owner or self-employed.
Okay.
And then we answer at the end, as you know.
Yes.
And we'll do that. But I think I'm going to also throw in the hardest part of being married to your boy.
All right.
Someone's going to stick around for the juiciness. So, hairstylist?
I am.
How long?
In August, it'll be 15 years.
Holy shanoli.
I know.
So when did you start?
My junior year of high school, I started my training, and USC offered
What's USC? USC for those that don't know.
University of Spa and Cosmetology Arts here in
Okay.
Springfield.
Okay.
And when I was in high school, I did CACC, so Capital Area Career Center. And they actually offered a summer school program between your junior and senior year. So I did that. I think it was every day, like a 9-to-5 situation, and was able to get
The university partnered with them or what?
Yeah. They're like, I don't know how they partner, but they definitely do.
Something's working out there.
Mm-hmm. And so I was able to get a ton of extra hours. And I mean, by the time I graduated high school, I only had a few months left of school. No, I got into some overtime, but that's a whole different other story.
How'd you know you wanted to get into this? Were you doing hair already? Were you cutting your sister's hair off? Or
Not my sister's. I did cut my sister's friend's hair off. That was not a great one. I always wanted to do it.
Did she know you were going to do it?
Yeah, I mean, she asked me to. I didn't know what I was doing, but I thought I did, like most people who want to be cosmetologists. But yeah, no, I always wanted to do it. And then I went through a little bit of a phase when it was getting closer to the end of like, is this my purpose? Should I be doing something more, you know? And my mom actually told me, she's like, Jessica, if you want to do something more, she's like, finish out your cosmetology license. She's like, go back to college. You'll have a job. So you'll have a one-up on all your friends. You'll have some money. And then you can make that decision then. And
the very wise Janet Winkler.
she does throw
Shout
some
out
wisdom.
Janie.
Yeah. But yeah, so I finished it. And after doing hair for, I don't know, a couple months, I was like, you know what? This is it. This is what I get. I get to talk to people, hear their stories, and then like make them feel beautiful in the end too, which is really cool.
Yeah, now they make you take, what is it you had to take?
Oh,
some sort of psychology or
there's like a sexual harassment, and then there was like a domestic violence and a ton of different things. But I mean, I understand the value in that, but also
right. You're like, I'm not like
Well, I mean, if someone's
how
coming
can you
to
expect me to do this? It's not my profession.
Right. I mean, our clients trust us with information. And if I was to, call the cops on them as soon as they leave, I would essentially lose that client and then the business that comes with them and the relationship.
The information.
Well, yeah. I mean, if a child or an animal was getting hurt, yeah, I would probably say something. But
so you get done with school.
Yeah.
You're
18.
18.
Mm-hmm. Newly 18.
You go straight into doing hair.
Yep.
Being a stylist.
Correct. Yeah.
Where at?
Master Cuts in the mall.
Good old White Oaks Mall.
Good
Master Cuts.
Yeah. So
right on the corner when you walk in, right?
It was.
By the movie theater?
It was. And then it quickly, right after I started, moved over to the food court, which was not ideal. Hair and food isn't a great situation.
Kind of a weird combo. I guess I kind of remember being over there.
But when it
took that spot. I know where it moved. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kind of by Aladdin's Castle, like that situation. Yeah. So it moved over there, and I was there for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Only
a year?
Only a year. Yeah. A lot of the manager there at the time, and a lot of the girls were leaving to open up a different salon.
So before we move to that,
yeah.
How was this Master Cuts situation?
Master Cuts was great. I really liked Master Cuts. It was quick money. Man, you would open the doors on Sundays. And
people just waiting?
Oh, literally. It would be like the floodgates. It was the craziest thing ever. Sunday morning haircuts. It was the craziest.
Sunday mornings.
The busiest time. Yeah.
Guys
people
mostly?
I mean, there were definitely a lot of walk-in men's cuts. I feel like guys are
more people that just walk in.
Families. It seemed like a lot of moms with kids, and a handful of kids. And then,
would they drop them off for you to be the babysitter while they go and shop?
No. Everybody was really respectful. I mean, we had a couple weirdos, but more stalker type weirdos.
What, that got their haircut every day?
No.
I just need a little trim, baby.
No, that ones that would show up at night and be creepy and tell you you're pretty. Yeah, just weird stuff, and then kind of just linger.
Do you do body hair?
No, that's a story for the next salon.
Nobody asked that.
No, but my sister got that one time. A guy wanted her to wax the whole front side of his body.
I love getting that done.
Just the front side.
I'm going to ask your sister to do that to me.
She's too pregnant for that right now.
Awkward. So what else was interesting about Master Cuts? Anything? I don't even know. I think I got my haircut there one time when it was on the corner where it first was.
I worked with so many talented stylists.
I'm also 5 years older than you.
You are. So many talented stylists there. When I started, I was able to get so much experience and just so much what is it? Mentorship? Is that a word?
Mentorship.
Yeah. From so many really, really talented stylists that still do hair in town here. Mm-hmm. One in Chicago, and I just learned so much from them. So it was just really, really great for me to start at a commission-based salon like that. Mm-hmm. And so young too, and everything was so quick. It was constant, and they were funny. We'd joke around. Yeah, it was just, I had a really great experience there.
That's good.
Yeah.
Now let's explain the difference between a commission-based salon and a booth rent.
Yeah. So
should be pretty obvious.
It's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious. And your commission-based is all different, and usually you work your way up, but you're only getting a percentage of what you do.
So every person that comes in, they work out. So you get, what were you getting at Master Cuts? Do you remember? It's probably pretty shitty.
It was probably pretty.
But for you new into the game.
Yeah, and tips were, quick. Like I said, you're doing,
they don't take
20 guy
tips,
haircuts. No, tips are always yours.
We get 50% of your tips too.
No, tips are always yours. Yeah. But it was, for an 18-year-old, I felt like I was making bank,
Yeah, having any kind of job at that. But you had a job before that, right? Sears? Was that before that?
I worked at Sears and Sunroom and BJ's.
Yeah, you had all the jobs. That's good. A lot of people don't work that young.
Yeah. Long term, I'm pretty loyal to my career, too. I stay at places a long time.
Yeah. Switching sometimes is scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So Master Cuts, you were there only there for a year, you said.
Yep. I was there for a year.
And then we moved along. The manager left.
Yep. I was asked to go with
opened
all
a
these
place.
really talented stylists, and I jumped on the opportunity.
Now the people that left. I mean, I know who they are. We don't got to say names, but they were all there before you, most of them?
Yeah. All of them.
Okay.
Yeah, they
Nice.
were all a team before me. I was the new one for sure.
Okay. And then you moved on to Z Rage.
Yeah, and I was there for a really long time.
Yeah, how long were you there?
I think it was 8 years before I left.
Yeah. And while at the Rage, you met a really wonderful guy, I heard.
I did, yeah.
What was his name?
Andrew.
Sounds like a hunk.
Quite the hunk. Yeah, 2013 is when we met. So I think I went.
God damn, time flies.
Yeah.
2013?
Yeah, I mean, you say we met before that, but I don't.
Well, random.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to believe it's been that long.
It is hard to believe. It's crazy.
And how long were you at the Rage?
8 years.
Which was also commission.
Also commission.
Based.
Yep. But you were able to.
Was it a better commission?
Yeah, it was a better commission, and you were able to work your way up in like a commission-based situation. So depending on what you did, how many clients you had.
A little bit nicer place.
Oh, yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah, and Rage number 2 was great. Yeah, it was a beautiful salon and a lot of camaraderie. I ended up managing, before I left, and yeah, it was good.
Did you enjoy the managing part?
No.
I'm asking you questions I know the answer to.
Yeah, I know. It is funny. No. I'm not a manager. If anybody knows me on here, knows that I am very much I don't know if this is politically correct, but I'm very much a Indian, not a chief.
Right.
I'm a good worker, right? I know I can get my job done. I'm time efficient. But I don't like to boss people around.
All the BS.
I don't like the political stuff, and I don't like to boss people around. Especially not adults, Andrew. That is how we work. You are definitely the boss.
All right, so after the Rage.
Okay, after the Rage.
Now what?
So
after how many years? One more time.
Well, it was after 8. Yeah, okay. About 8, or maybe a little over 8. But we were getting married, we were engaged, and it was just time, I kind of had reached a peak in that, and I had a really great, loyal clientele, and it was time for me to make more money, right? Like, you can only make so much in a commission salon.
Right.
Unless you want to continue to raise your prices and things like that, and...
So basically, it's time to switch to booth rent or to try to open a place.
Correct. Yeah, correct.
And the headaches to open a place were not appealing.
It wasn't. That just doesn't seem like something I'm interested in. That didn't.
Yeah.
The end goal for some people is like success is a business owner and this and that, and that wasn't. That's not what I knew I wanted long term. And I mean, let's be honest. You're so busy.
Right.
So both of us opening up businesses and then even considering a family, that would have been really hard, right?
Yeah. There's definitely some things that had to be figured out there.
Yeah. And we could have done it if it was something that I was eager to do. But I love doing my job and I love going home.
Right. Being done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I love my people. So
I read an interesting thing today that was from a business owner. It was somebody shared it, but it was a post, and it was like this really long post, and it was just talking about how, like, everybody thinks being a business owner is great. He says, but there's a lot of stress and headaches and so much time devotion. And then he talked about how it would transfer over to personal life and family and friends, and how it harmed like so many different things that people don't understand. Then you have people that want deals or, you know what I mean? They don't want to pay you what you're worth for whatever you're doing. And it was just such a long post. I actually was going to share it. I I got distracted and didn't share it, but it was a really well written post that I think people don't think about.
Yeah. And like, I'm not your typical business owner, but I have my own little business.
Right. But you work for yourself.
Yeah. And I mean, it is a business, right? People are paying me to do a service.
Yeah. You have to do taxes and do the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. And just respond, right? Be present. And like, I handle my own book and things like that. But yeah, like feeling like I know I probably struggle with this a lot more than most people, but wanting to kind of give away, my services to people that like mean a lot, like friends, family members, things like that, because I don't know, you feel like it's the right thing to do. Yeah. So that balance. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. For sure. You feel like you got to hook them up a little bit.
Baby just kicked me.
Yeah. 7 months pregnant over here.
7 months tomorrow.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, since you left the Rage and you've been on your own, how many years has that been now?
Gosh, well, I've been doing it for 15.
Because how long were you at the Rage?
9 minus 15, 4. It's like 4, almost 5 years. I'm on my own right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So in almost 5 years on your own, how many times have you raised your prices?
One single time.
One time. And that was when? When did you do it?
January 1 of this year.
Just now. So that's something to think about. And I think people don't think about that. But, in 5 years, not getting a single raise. And not only that, a lot of friends and family hooking up. So you're not even getting paid total what you should be for a lot of services.
Yeah, but listen, I have some really great clients that, they compensate me for what I deserve. And when I did raise my prices, I went through a period of, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this to people. You know what I mean? Like I was personally hurting them. And someone said, like, Jessica, the grocery store doesn't call you to tell you they're raising the price of milk. You don't, but I still put up, a note that you made me on my station for weeks to like let people know. And, honestly, out of, hundreds of clients that I have, I think I only had like one negative response. And it was something along the lines of like, oh yeah, I wish I got a raise. And I'm like, well, I didn't.
Right.
Have you checked inflation this year? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like, it's really just almost more keeping up with inflation, not even much of a raise.
Yeah. But, most of my clients honestly was like, that's it. You should have raised it more, so.
Does it ever bother you that you don't get a raise like you would maybe in like a traditional job? You don't really ever, there's not like working towards a raise or something. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? No.
But I've also never worked a traditional job.
Right.
So maybe if I had that to like compare it to.
Yeah. And even in traditional jobs, typically you max out at some point depending on the job. But
yeah. And I kind of know like it's on me, right? Like if I want a raise, then I just have to do it.
Yeah. You got two options, work more or raise prices.
And we both know that's not an option right now.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but I think I'm going to be a little bit more consistent about it, maybe once a year, once every other year. I don't know, and nothing crazy, but just to keep up with life.
Yeah. No, I understand. I would hope clients understand too.
Oh, and yeah, they do. They're wonderful. These people have been with me. I mean, I have one guy, he was literally the first haircut I ever did. So.
That's crazy. So how many years now? What's our final count here
almost
right
15, now? Almost 15.
15 years.
Yeah, and I mean,
that's
again, if anybody knows me outside of this, I have looked a lot different in 15 years, and this specific man has literally never
seen every aspect.
Yeah, but he's never once even commented on my appearance ever. Not that's like, hey, Jessica, you've lost weight, or wow, your hair's red, or oh, blonde this time. Nothing. He just like comes in, gets his haircut. I'm used to this shit. Yeah, I guess. I don't know, man. He's just been through it all.
It's funny too, because not only has he seen you in so many different ways, but you've probably know about such a long period of his life.
Yeah, and same. I mean, I was an 18-year-old girl when I started, and now I'm, 32 years old almost. And
weird.
He's like seen me be a party girl and
you have
crazy.
What do you think's your shortest term client right now, like that you've had for the shortest amount of time? How long do you think that is? Because I know like you don't really take many new people on. You do randomly.
Not many new clients, but I will take like a referral here and there if they can do like daytime availability.
Right. You're open to new clients, but you're not actively like.
Yeah, I just can't. So if it works out, it works out. If our schedules, like if you can make a 2 p.m. work on a Wednesday, then yeah, let's do it if I have the openings. And also I don't like. I'm at the point in my career where I kind of like to know what I'm in for. So
what do you mean when you're doing someone's hair?
As far as personality types.
Oh, gotcha.
So like, I like to
mentally prepare.
Yeah, like not everybody's personalities vibe, and that's okay.
Right.
But I don't want to walk into work and, see someone in my book and be like, ugh. Right. And I've worked really hard so that I don't have to do that I like everybody that comes in. So a referral from someone that I like, it's probably a good person. You can so I'll definitely do that.
Yeah.
So probably, I don't know, within the last year, I have like a handful of people that I've been doing for probably only about a year.
So a wide range.
Yeah. Yeah.
15 years though with the one person.
I know.
Crazy.
I know.
Anybody else? What's the next longest?
Yeah. Lots. Like,
what do you think the next longest is?
Heather Rourke, shout out. She's probably been with me for about 14 or 13 years.
Wow. That's crazy.
I mean, I have people that have followed me from Master Cuts to
The
Rage to the Other Rage to Second Glance to now Magnolia. So.
Yeah. So now over at Magnolia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right down the road.
So we kind of skipped though because you left the Rage and you went to
Second Glance.
Second Glance, where you now are booth renting.
Yeah, I'm now booth renting.
Were booth renting.
Yeah, total learning curve.
So total change. You had to handle invoicing.
Yeah. And just the panic of like, oh my gosh, are people going to follow me? Being my own receptionist, that was really hard, learning that.
How was it at first?
Exciting and scary all at once, But again, I wouldn't have left if I knew I wasn't sure that I was going to have people follow me. So it could have been scarier. Like if I would have done it, a lot of people had pushed me to, try and do that earlier just for the money aspect of it. And I just wasn't ready. I needed to know that I was going to be okay.
Yeah. It's a hard thing.
Yeah. And it's a lot of pressure, for someone not to cut you a paycheck and you just depend on yourself.
Yeah. Or knowing if, even if you did lose people, are you going to be able to get more people, what I mean? Or people walking in?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. No, I can totally understand that.
But it was fun too. It was a totally...
change.
Yeah, uncomfortable is kind of good sometimes.
Definitely. Stepping out of your comfort zone. Keeping you on your toes.
Yeah. And I didn't have...
And you had a solid rock behind you, ready to help you.
I had a solid rock, yeah. And we didn't have kids yet. So that was
definitely
big
helps.
Too, yeah.
Everything changes once that comes into play.
Oh yeah, you think about things a little different for sure.
So before we get into that though, you're at Second Glance, and now have transitioned to
booth rent.
Still booth rent.
Oh yeah. Oh, Magnolia. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I'm like, what?
I don't want to answer your questions.
Where are you going with this? Yeah.
Right down the street.
Yeah. So this is really fun and it's beautiful. The girls there are wonderful, or the women there are wonderful. That was different in a commission salon versus a booth rent salon too. You're working around like a lot of younger girls right out of school, so the energy is definitely commission. Yeah, the energy's younger. Maybe a little bit more dramatic, depending on what you get into. But
so typically out of school, you go into commission because they handle marketing, they handle all the stuff, and you're able to learn while they get you
and
clients.
You're more of a team, right? Not that you're not a team in a booth rent situation, but everybody is their own individual.
But they help you build your book, get you clients.
Yeah, and if like you don't know how to do a haircut, you can ask like someone who's your senior, and say, "Hey, I don't know how to do this haircut. Can you come over here and show me?"
Yeah.
Whereas at a booth rent, people's going to be like,
"I'm busy."
Yeah, because we are. Well, and we are. So
Yeah.
it's just different.
Yeah, interesting. All right, Magnolia.
Yeah, Magnolia, and it's
She's in there.
wonderful. Super happy there. Do my job.
Shout out Emma and Anna.
Shout out to Emma and Anna. Yeah, made it possible.
Nice, good old Magnolia.
Yeah.
So while at Second Glance, well, we met at the Rage.
And at the Rage, and the first Rage.
The first Rage.
Yeah.
And it moved. We met at good old Stella Blue.
Yeah,
Kind
of. We were both leaving Stella Blue and getting into
but
Lincoln Yellow Cab.
We had met before that.
We had
randomly.
I don't really remember it, but
Yeah, it wasn't much of anything.
Yeah.
Me trying to convince you to drink. Have a drink, baby. It
was a good thing we didn't actually connect at that point in our lives.
Yeah, for sure. So then let's see here. You're at Second Glance, or you moved from the Rage and got to Second Glance, and that's when you started booth renting. But when did we get married while you were at Second Glance?
2018 at Second Glance, yeah.
Okay. Good. Married in Starved Rock.
2018. We're coming up on our anniversary in like the next month and a half. I know. I almost brought my wedding vows to record, but I forgot them.
Oh, jeez.
This morning was fast paced.
So let's talk about having kids and the challenge of that with working.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know you've had to cut back a lot of your hours.
Which meant a significant pay cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, some of that is, I know a sacrifice because I have to, me having to work more just to do everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
How is that like, how'd that feel, or like making that commitment from doing something for so long? I mean, what were the hours you used to work?
Crazy.
Right. What were they? Way a lot.
9:30 at the latest 10 to 8:30, 9 o'clock at night.
So like 10, 11, 12 hours.
5 days a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Saturdays I would be off by 3 or 5 depending, but Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, every week.
Because that's the only way you make more money is working more, raising prices.
Well, yeah, and I always worked a lot before.
You're used to it.
I was used to it, and then when I met you worked all the time too.
Right.
So, and I mean, we had plenty of free time. We didn't have kids; we were just doing whatever. So we could really work as much as we wanted to, and then have a late dinner. Watch some TV, go to bed, and do it over again.
Dinner was always so late.
So late. I know. I thought about that the other day. I was like, oh my gosh.
8:30, 9 o'clock time for dinner.
We'd be at Brick House at like 10 o'clock at night. Yeah. So it was a lot. It was hard wrapping my mind around it, I think, more than actually doing it. And I think maybe before having Bricks, being pregnant and us having kind of, some just like light discussions about what we were going to do and what the game plan was, that the thought of it was harder than when I actually had him. And then I'm like, I want to spend all my time with this little baby, So it made it easier once they were here.
Yeah. Yeah. Changes. It's crazy having to balance that stuff out.
And I mean, I will say I definitely cut my hours back, but we had help the first year of Brix's life,
Right, which helped a ton.
But then, I mean, not that I like COVID at all, but the one good thing COVID has done is made the workplace, like your typical like 9 to 5, their schedule's more flexible. So like people are working more from home. People have realized like, as long as you get your job done. So people are able to kind of, people that could only come
during
in.
The day stuff's not as
So people that could only come in 4:30 and after.
Interesting.
Now can come in, at 11:30 or 12 and just bring their laptop, use the Wi-Fi, and it's not necessarily like a huge deal. Yeah. Now there's still a handful of people that can't do that, and that's okay. And that's why I work one late night. So,
Yeah. Fit them in.
But COVID has made my job easier with that schedule transition, which has been interesting.
Besides the time when it was actually going on and you could not work.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I could not work at all. That was terrible.
So that was during, we had
Bricks.
our daughter.
No, I was pregnant. I was pregnant with Liv.
But during COVID, we had her.
Yeah, but when I was shut down, or yeah, when hairstylist, not just me, they didn't like personally, but I had Bricks at home, and then I was pregnant with Liv, like really pregnant with Liv, because we got shut down in March, and her due date was in July, and wasn't able to go back to work till June 1st.
Right.
And she was doing,
which we got a little bit lucky because it worked out like over like when you would have taken off maternity leave also.
Yeah. It was,
so there was some timing there that played out in our favor.
Definitely.
It was still all a pain in the ass, but
it was hard, but you were still able to work, which was really great. I mean, I don't know how a single mom hairstylist would have done it.
I don't know how a lot of people did it.
Yeah, I don't know how a lot of people,
stylists
anybody in servers,
servers,
and especially somebody
restaurants,
that's like
business, small business owners,
and the main person of their household.
Mm-hmm.
It's like crazy, but especially someone that doesn't have a W-2.
Yeah,
because I think a lot of people with W-2s were able to get unemployment, whereas that's not something I was offered.
Right.
So that was crazy.
Yeah, that was all a pain in the butt.
But they ended up doing the pandemic unemployment assistance, and it all played out. Yeah.
So is Chase, obviously you spend a lot more time, like you pick the kids up most days and stuff like that. How is it, like, how does that, I'm trying to think of how to phrase it. Like, how does it feel, the difference now of, you have like work, and it's kind of like half and half almost, like working kids, or working being a mom, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
How does that transition feel?
Hard.
As far as
hard. There's no more like selfish. I mean,
because it's still work.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just not getting paid for it.
Yeah,
but in hindsight, you do get to spend time with the kids. But yeah,
and I receive their love, which is payment enough. But
right.
yeah, I mean, it's totally hard, especially Brooks just turned 3, lives 1.5, and now I'm pregnant, so my patience is probably not as great. But no, it's really hard. But I wouldn't do it any differently. I like the balance that I have between like adult interaction and being able to like still feel like myself in the workplace, because it was such a big part of me for so long.
Mm-hmm.
But then also getting to be with my kids so much, and getting to spend the evenings with them, and then the weekends. You know what I mean? It seems like it's working out really well.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine actually a better scenario.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I did, you know what I mean? And I mean, one of the reasons, and I mean, I'm sure you know this, but I do like the fact that, even though I don't get to spend as much time with them, I love the fact that you get to spend, as much time with them as you get to.
Yeah.
I think it's good all around, knowing that and being able to, I guess, allow you to do that.
Yeah.
Kind of feels good on my side. So.
Well, and I couldn't do it without, having you and be able to work so much.
How,
I need a beer.
How was it? I'm curious, like, when it's kind of weird because, like, it's hard, we have kids now, and
yes.
and it's hard for me to make a change because everything I'm doing depends on. Does that make sense? Like me doing that thing, like how was it? Like, I'm trying to decide how to phrase this. How was it when you first, like, what was your impression of my, like, the way that I did things and like handled things when we first got together? You know what I mean? Because let's see, I was at ACE.
Yeah, so, you were at ACE, and
so
you have to remember, like, you were at ACE, and then
so it was just regular working at that point.
Regular working. I mean, but you were still like hustling, like
right.
doing random jobs at night. But it was
not as
fun.
Much.
I mean, we'd still like hang out on the couch.
Right.
And
it's weird because I think back, like, if, like, I wonder if, like getting married, like meeting you and getting married and like being in a serious relationship, like, makes you settle down a little bit. So like sometimes I wonder if I ever would have like got to the point that I'm at with anything if I would have never, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and who knows?
Because sometimes in your head I'm like, oh, I'd have so much more free time if I didn't have kids. But then I'm like, I'd probably just be wasting it doing dumb shit.
Yeah. And I mean, you'd probably be vacationing a lot. That's something that you really, really enjoy. So you probably would have prioritized that if you weren't like in a relationship, you know, different things. And woulda, coulda, shoulda though. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, but yeah, I mean, you were pretty crazy too. I mean, I was pretty crazy, but you were so yeah, you'd probably be hanging.
Right. Hanging. Good way to put it.
Yeah. How else do we say it? But yeah, no, watching the transition of Andrew and Bartlett Creations, you know, is what you were with, like doing. That's what it
was early for sure.
And then the transition into like Andrew with Ootbox at home, and then or even at the penthouse, and then Andrew Ootbox at our old house.
Well, Ootbox was our old house, so that
you didn't do it at the penthouse at all.
No, that all came about once we were in the new place.
I guess your dad had passed. After. Yeah. Okay, but it was definitely part.
So I remember sitting in the home office there designing the logo.
Yeah. Okay, you're right.
I don't even think I did it right away because I was still working at Ace.
Not for very long though.
No, but I mean
within a year.
This sounds ass backwards, but remember I wanted to, you know, I knew I needed to stay there long enough to get a loan to buy the house.
Yeah. I do remember
Someone's
that.
like, people are probably like, why the hell would you buy a house and then quit your job? But I just knew that I wasn't going to be able to get a loan if I didn't have a job.
Well, and we weren't married. And
I knew, one, with having you there to help, but two, like, I knew I would find a way. Like, I'm just a little bit different than most people where I would figure out how to pay the house payment if I had to. It was just a matter of like getting the loan. That was a scary jump.
Oh, I'm sure it was scary. Because unlike my jump, I had the clientele that I had been with for years, and like kind of yours was kind of like, I'm doing this, and kind of just dove straight in. I had like a couple
small clients.
Yeah, and you knew you could do it, and you're so self-motivated, so you just believed in yourself. And I believed in you that I was going to follow
had a good support system.
And I believed in you. Yeah, and a lot of people believed in you, so for sure, but it's been awesome to watch, really. It's pretty amazing. It doesn't mean I don't get frustrated that I don't get to see you very often, but
it's gotten better.
Yeah.
I mean, early on I was all week and all weekend pretty much, usually. At least Saturday nights.
Yeah. No, yeah, you work a lot.
It was a lot of up till 3 a.m.
Yeah, it is a funny thing, like you kind of bringing up what you kind of touched on a little bit, like if someone hears that you're a business owner, they're like, oh, that would be so cool to have a lunch date in the middle of my day. And I'm like, yeah, he was up till 3 o'clock in the morning working, and then I didn't see him this morning. So yeah, that 1 hour lunch break didn't really.
Did you ever have like any, I don't know, I guess I'm just kind of interested on what you thought about any of it during it.
Like during your transition, like starting Ootbox and all of that?
Yeah, like being up till 3 a.m. working or whatever. Like,
I just think you're a nut job. I mean, like, listen, I like sleep. I mean, I haven't got a ton since our kids have been born.
I was gonna say, don't give them sleep.
Recently I have. I don't know what to do with myself, but then this baby keeps me up, so whatever. Yeah. But I have always liked sleep. Like, I mean, I'm a 10:30 bedtime person, and watching you stay up till 3, 4. God, there was one day like 5 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes just you get creative and you just like go for it. And
Yeah, I remember one time
crazy.
specifically, like you were going to bed. I was like, all right, good night. You're like, are you going to bed? I was like, I think I'm going to stay up all night and finish this website. You're like, what? I was like, yeah, I think I'm just going to get it done.
But it's, it's so crazy because it's so who you are. It's so embedded in you that I don't even think twice when you do like crazy shit like that. Yeah. Yeah. It's just that's just our norm,
right.
You know?
It's very hard to make the transition.
It's actually weirder seeing you go to bed early now than it ever has been thinking about you staying up all night. Yeah.
Yeah, so those that don't know, I'm trying to make a transition just because as life changes, the kids go to bed at 8:30, 9 around there. Yeah. And then I'm up and I would try to do the whole stay up late thing. But now with a team here at Upox, like I want to be here when they start because I feel like that's very much, you know what I mean? They're quote unquote leader. Like, why is he not here? Why is he coming into 11 a.m.?
Right. Well, because I was up till 4 a.m.
That's usually the story, but they don't
see that. They don't,
it,
they don't
or think about it if you're. Yeah. So, although I think most of them probably know that I put in a lot of hours, but it was also just being here with them and getting to talk and work on stuff and collaborate. It's just good to be here.
Oh, absolutely.
So, and most people aren't up that late.
No.
So getting here and being here all day gives me that much more time to talk to clients or talk to my team or just make things happen.
Yeah.
So.
And then in turn, you can potentially get off earlier.
Right. So that's the transition that I'm trying to make now to waking up at like 5:30 a.m. and getting in bed at 9:30, being asleep by 10. Right, so right around those hours. It hasn't been perfect, but that's basically a transition I've been making. And then getting off work, like a lot of times I would stay at work until 7 or something, but trying to be off by 6 on my way home at the latest, and get in here at like 7:30, whatever. Yeah. It has been weird. I was reading about it earlier. There's something called the what's it called? It's called because Josh was like. He's like, you've just seemed really tired lately. What's going on? I'm like, I think my body's freaking out, man.
It is freaking out. It's absolutely freaking out.
I looked it up. It's called the circadian rhythm.
The circadian rhythm.
Yeah,
interesting. I'm going to have to.
A circadian rhythm or circadian cycle is a natural internal process that regulates the sleep-wake cycle and repeats roughly every 24 hours. It can refer to any process that originates within an organism in response to the environment.
Interesting.
So I was reading when that gets messed up, it's kind of like when you travel somewhere where it has different hours. Yeah. And you feel like you can't get it right.
Yeah. Like jet lag almost kind of situation.
Yeah, jet lag. Yeah. And it says that makes you feel more tired.
Interesting. Yeah, because I've never seen you sleepy at 8:30 at night ever.
Yeah, and I'm either getting the same amount of sleep or more sleep, but I feel more tired during the day, which has been weird this week. Yeah, it's been really this week.
I mean, I
guess I just started it last week.
Yeah, but I mean, you've totally jacked up your entire the sleep schedule you've been on since I've known you, and we've been together. This is since 2013. How many years is that? That's a lot of years. Almost 10 or 9. So 9 years.
Yeah, really weird.
Yeah, so
it's a hard transition to make.
Yeah, I bet. Anytime you have to switch something, it's a little hard.
Yeah. I think it's for the better.
I think it will be.
Because I just can't work out like at night because either I take time away from the kids or take time away from being with you.
And a lot of excuses through the day, right? On why you don't need to.
Or you're tired.
Yeah, you ate bad, so you don't feel good.
Or you work out late and then you just have energy. You can't go to bed.
Yeah.
So if I can get up and get in some physical exercise, that's the idea.
Yeah. No, I think it'll work out. I hope it works out. The only thing I ever, get nervous with you, and not nervous, that's probably a bad term, but think about with you is you're so creative at night.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see when those like juices start flowing throughout the day, because
I've thought about that.
Is it going to happen in the morning? Because it'll happen. You're a creative person. It's not going to just disappear. But it's interesting because all of your creative stuff has always kind of been at night. Like your weirdest, most creative things.
Well, I'm hoping that we're getting to a point here and I've said this for a long freaking time. I feel like I've been saying this for the last 2 years, but I'm hoping we're getting to a point where I'm going to be able to do more creative stuff during the day, as opposed to just so much management, the BS stuff, quotes and emails, just like,
but things that are necessary.
Oh, they're all necessary. They have to be
but
done,
definitely not creative.
Right. And so I'm hoping that I end up getting time, getting in here earlier, getting that stuff done even before we start work. So by the time everybody's in here, we're working, then we can start getting. And I've already noticed it start to happen. Yeah. So I'm hoping that's kind of the route that we're going with things.
Yeah, I like that.
Hopefully. Now we just got to get some more people hired.
Yeah.
We're hiring. So how do you feel, what do you think about the whole transition from the old space to the new space, seeing this come about?
It's so beautiful. And even just like, again, watching it from like our home on Providence to now, it's just absolutely insane. Like,
did you watch the video we made of the old studio where like you were in there? Where we were in there, your dad and you, and we were cleaning and putting stuff together.
Yeah. And do you remember how nervous you were about that? Like getting that?
Yeah. I was like, I'm signing a lease for $1,000 a month.
This I don't know how I'm going to do this. And it's
I might have to work all day.
But even though you were a little afraid, you never let that hold you back. And I was never afraid for you because I just knew you would do it. You know what I mean? Like, you're not really someone that like.
I don't like to lose.
Well,
even though it's good to sometimes, I just don't like to fail at something.
Yeah.
So like, it's the same with quitting my job and starting a business. Like, it's like, I'm going to like just work as much as I have to make this work. Yeah, same with renting the space. It's like, I'm just going to work as much as I have to make this work.
And anybody that doesn't know you personally, you are such an overthinker. So like anything.
Sometimes.
Absolutely. It's your best and worst quality, 100%. But I know that any questions I have for you, you've already answered them a million times over in your own head. So when you make a decision, there's just not a lot of worry in my mind as a partner because I know you've already thought of it.
Right. Have a backup plan. Plan for the worst.
Probably 17.
Plan for the worst, hope for the best.
Yeah. You probably.
I say that all the time.
Yeah.
But I say it to everybody. And I think, a lot of it came from my dad. I don't want to say he was a negative person. I mean, my dad, but if I came to him and said I wanted to do something, he's always going to give me the negatives of it. Yeah. He's going to tell me, everything that could happen or this or that.
Yeah.
But doing that for so long geared my mind to think about those things, but then plan for them and know what to do if they happen. Yeah. And I don't know if he meant to do that or if that's how his mind was actually working that's why he said those things.
I think that's how his mind was actually working.
Yeah.
You do that. And sometimes it can kind of come up as a Debbie Downer.
Right. Yeah.
So there's definitely a balance in that. Yeah.
That does, I don't try.
Well, but you don't mean to be. Right. It's just hey, have you thought of this kind of situation when most people, when they tell you something, they're like, they just want like a round of applause. Yeah. Whereas you're like, did you think of the worst thing that could happen? Which isn't, that's how your mind works. You don't do it purposefully.
Right.
But,
it's good to put both sides. I feel like I try to put both sides.
Totally. No, you do. You always give props where props are deserved. But
and
then
you think about with kids, how you want to be with your kids. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, how do I do this with them as they get older?
Tricky.
Because, I see the stuff that helped me with my parents.
Yeah. And then the things that could do without.
Right. And it's like, all right, you just got to remember that, though. Yeah, especially in the moment.
Especially with bricks. He's going to be our...
probably a little too much like me.
He is the spawn of you. Yeah. Literally birthed Andrew. He looks a little bit like me, but acts just like his dad.
So what do you think of the new studio?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's insane. Like even this room. I mean, I know nobody's in here, but it is.
Thousands of people.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's unbelievable. It's huge. It feels welcoming, but also modern. the energy is just so positive. It's just wonderful. I'm just so happy for you guys.
Well, I definitely appreciate you. There's a lot of long nights and days that you've had to deal with me not being there, or just craziness.
Yeah.
And even stuff you've had to do to help me, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember at that first studio, I also remember, wasn't it funny, these chairs actually.
Yeah.
Sitting in your parents' living room assembly line.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's amazing how
I wish I had some video of that. That was funny.
My parents have always been super helpful. They're all these like weird things too, like shout out to them. They're,
for sure.
They're always down for a project. They don't question it, like
No,
they're just like, sounds good. Let's do it.
Yeah, it was funny. Yeah, it's crazy to think back of getting to this point. The video when I almost wanted to make that video, that recap video, but then I was like, one, just time of making it, but also like, well, maybe I should let somebody else do it because it brings in an outside perspective watching this stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it turned out pretty good.
There's
a lot
really
of footage to fit in there. The thing was so long. It still was long.
Yeah.
But we cut out a ton.
Yeah, no, it's so good. And it is. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. It was amazing over there. And we thought it was great. And now it's like, wow, look at this. Like, you know what I mean? Life is just amazing.
I never really feel like I finished that studio.
You didn't. You had so many plans for it, but you got so busy.
Yeah.
I mean, there was just, and then you hired Ryan and then Holly.
Shout out to Ryan.
Yeah,
behind the cameras.
Exactly. But things just got so busy so quickly, and it was 3 of you just handling it. So
3 turned into double to 6, and then we were piloting in the garage.
Yeah,
on top of each other.
Yeah. It was time, but. It is how fast things have moved, and it looks so pretty. Pretty's probably not the right, but it is.
As you said, overthinker, and a lot of thought has gone into everything, as you know.
Yeah, of course. I would expect nothing less.
But even though it takes a lot of thought and stress, I mean, it's kind of like with our house. I mean, you saw all that.
Yeah, you're good at that, though. You're good at that. Like, I don't know. You kind of thrive in a crazy, like, chaotic setting. And so not necessarily chaos, but like busy. You do well with busy.
It's giving me I get it, as you know, obviously I get like anxious if I'm not getting something done.
You're kind of not nice when you're not like being productive.
Well, and it's not just that, it's like, it's more like if like I'm fine for a while.
A little bit. And
then it's like, all right, this whole day's gone by and I haven't done anything. I got to fucking do something.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. No, and I think that's another reason I never...
what do you think that is? Is it a little bit of ADD or something?
I'm sure you're undiagnosed ADHD or something. Or ADD. I don't know which one it is. But yeah, and you're just... you just thrive in a productive setting. You're purpose-driven. And you need to have a purpose, like even with making Brix's bed right now, what you're doing,
right.
It's
you're like, are you sure you have time?
I'm like, you have no time, but you're like, I'm gonna figure it out, I'm gonna do it. And it's like, okay, if you can do it, and
those who don't know, building a bunk bed on the spare time
with all of his spare time that he has.
It's actually much more than a bunk bed, but
actually,
you surprised us, not that bad. It was pretty straightforward put together.
We're not done yet.
Nothing's done.
Okay. Whatever you say.
All right, are you ready for number 3 or what?
I am.
She's pregnant. If those that don't know, number 3 coming.
I feel like I am more ready for number 3 than I was for Liv.
Got 2 under the belt,
which is funny because, we're so not prepared for this one. Like, we don't have an official name. Babies, I mean, I guess the baby's room's done because we're just giving it Brix's stuff. Right. Like, here you go, little third child.
Yeah. I think that's kind of how it is, though, and why people end up, like, people that have more end up having more.
Yeah.
And if I was younger, I'd probably say, fuck it, let's have another one.
Well, and with Bricks, it was different because I was so excited. I knew I wanted to be a mom. I was so ready. Not that I was an old mom, but definitely not a young one either.
Right.
And so I was definitely ready for that step in my life, but then quickly realized how hard it was with all the life changes, the business stuff, just everything changing.
Yeah. And he was
difficult.
Hard baby.
Bricks, and not in the sense where like he cried all the time as an infant, but he definitely didn't sleep.
Yeah.
And he was a bad eater, so to say, so there was just like a lot of struggle that came with that, some postpartum stuff. And so I knew how hard it was. So when we got pregnant with Liv very quickly, Bricks was 7 months old. It was very much a surprise. I was really scared. Mm-hmm. But then I realized your wings don't get cut twice.
Yeah.
So everything that
the big change wasn't
the
as
big
much
change.
Of a big
everyone's
change.
like, oh, going from 1 to 2 so hard. I don't know how you feel, but I didn't feel like it was as bad. I thought going from 0 to 1 was so hard.
You don't get to go do what you want.
Oh my, and we're both very extroverted, and we have a lot of friends, and we like to be with our friends. And you go from doing whatever you want, whenever you want, which a lot of that is working, and then not being able to do really anything you want when you want to do it,
I think part of one of the biggest worries for me was just the fact that, like, am I going to be able to still get done everything I need to get done?
You said that a lot. Yeah.
Because like now I got, a team that's depending on me, clients that are depending on us.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of worry of, am I going to be able to get done everything and still spend time with my family?
Right.
You know, obviously that's one of my main, between the business and family, it's like the two things I care about now. And obviously now I've been transitioning to trying to make life easier to spend as much time, with everybody as possible.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm doing a lot better these days.
Yeah, you're doing a good job. And
it's not like no weekend working really.
Yeah. But I think there's never enough time, no matter what your responsibilities in life are.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whether it just be a job or whether it just be 1 kid or 2 kids or 3 kids there's never you're always gonna wish you had more time, So it's just being time efficient's huge. And that's why I am so obsessed with being so time efficient and like just being places on time. And even though I was late today, sorry.
Jeez. I know. It's like, she's late. She's never late. I get to give her shit about this for like a month or two at least.
Yeah. So, but I think I just don't think you'll ever have enough time. You'll never feel like you have enough time. But yeah, adding in a family that you love so much and a business that you love so much, it definitely makes it
it's one of those things, I was talking with Nick the other day actually about it. It's like you think you want to go do something or like for work, when I have to go to Destin or whatever, I'm like, oh, this is going to be all right. I got to work, but I get to go to Destin. That's cool. Hard work, but it's like, I really do go there, and that's all I'm doing is like work, day, in, out, shoot, get back, get on the plane. And you think it's going to be like, get a little bit of a break from everything, but it's really just like, 1, you're working, but then 2, it's like, I want to get home and see my family. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you immediately, like when I went to Colorado, what was that, a year ago? 2 years ago? A year ago? I was excited to get to go. I don't get to snowboard ever. And it was amazing to get to hang out with a couple buddies out there. But while I'm there, I'm like, geez, I really miss everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
The whole like, what absence makes
the heart grow fonder.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's really tricky. That balance is hard to find because having a break is definitely necessary. I haven't had one, but I definitely know I need one.
I don't think you'd do it.
You don't think I'd do it? I don't know. Maybe not yet.
If I was like go on vacation.
We went to Miami for Candace's wedding.
Yeah, but that was both of us.
Oh, you don't think I'd go by myself?
I don't think you'd go by yourself. I think you would, but I think you'd immediately be like, all right, I'm ready to come home.
Yeah, it'd be sad. Well, and our kids are really young right now, so when this third one,
for those that don't know, it'll be 3 3 and under.
3 and under. Yeah. So, and also, you know, I breastfeed. So that's a big part of my separation thing. So.
Yeah. That makes it hard.
Yeah. So, I probably won't get like a actual break for another year and a half.
Did you ever go on vacation alone? Ever?
When I was younger?
Yeah.
No, never.
I never did either. I thought about that. This was, again, I was talking to, I think I was talking to Nick about it. I was talking to somebody about it, and I was like, I had money when I was younger. I was like, but, you know, a lot of my friends didn't, so I didn't like travel as much as I could have. I did get to travel a lot, so I do feel blessed in that. This isn't like a regret type of thing, but I was thinking back, like, why did I never go? Maybe I was talking to you about this.
Yeah, we were talking
Maybe
about
that's what I'm thinking about. And I'm like, why did I never go on vacation by myself? Like, I feel like that would have been such a good thing to do.
Yeah.
But at the time, you're so, like, I guess just friend-oriented, you know? It's
so
like,
friend-oriented. I had some really fun girlfriends that I, like, knew that I would always have a good time with. And we vibed very hard. But I, like, part of mine was I was so obsessed with building my clientele at a young age.
Right.
So I didn't even really go like spring breaks and stuff when everybody else went. I never did. I was like, I was working.
Long, I mean, it was hard at Mastercuts, right? I mean, building up a clientele.
5 years, they say. Like 3 years, you start to be like, okay, I can make this work. And then 5 years, you're like, oh yeah, this is great. You know, so I worked my butt off.
So I know there were some things that you did. And since we are a marketing company, let's hear about how you promoted yourself to get
do you know
to get more people.
The owner of the Rage, and her business is it has a different name now, but she was a hustler, you know, and she would have us or ask us, you know, what we wanted to do. So we would walk around to different businesses and hand out our business cards and go into Walgreens, you know, and pick out somebody that, no offense, I'm sorry if I ever saw you at Walgreens, but maybe didn't have like the best style, and hand them a card like, hey, if you're looking for a new stylist, like I'm so open. And it was very awkward. I remember we walked into like your
hair does not look good. Let me help you.
He never said that. I know. But yeah, but it was really awkward, right? So awkward. We walked into the recruiting office for the Air Force. I don't know. I think that's what it is over by like Party City.
Get some guy cuts.
And walked in there, and I had like a bunch of cards, and I'm like, hey, if anybody like needs and he's like, I have a wife. I'm like, what do you think I'm offering you right now? Like I'm building I'm like, it's for haircuts, you know, and we'd offer like a free shampoo with a free haircut or, you know, a free conditioning treatment or whatever. There was a lot of different like marketing things that we did, but like person to person, not like online. Now it's kind of easy. You know, you get on Facebook for a
easy.
Okay, definitely not easy.
It's different.
But like I'm talking for a hairstylist.
You can reach people easier. Let your friends know easier. Like, hey, I'm doing this.
Well, and hair's so visual too. Yeah. So like you can take a picture,
post it,
and then and then people are like, oh, cool. Whereas we were not doing that. We were literally going like it felt kind of door to door. So did a lot of that, and then just worked really hard. And even if there was nobody in there, you
hung out.
Well, you cleaned, you waited there. Yeah, you made yourself super available. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
I was trying to think of like earlier on some of the stuff like that I did, and I guess it was just a lot of networking. You know, I was able to do some work with you know, the Rage and a couple other just random clients was picking up, but just letting people know. It's funny because like for so long I did do a lot of the stuff that I do now, but I didn't like say this is what I do. It was just like extra stuff
for sure.
And I think once I quit my job and said, I started a business, I'm doing this. You know what I mean? Like then people are like, oh, he does that.
Yeah, you made it reality.
You know what I mean? It's kind of weird because I was already doing it, but I got a couple people reached out or whatever. But then once you actually say you're doing it, then like it seems like people started to refer you more, or say, hey, I know somebody that does that.
Yeah, I know. I constantly wonder how I don't even know how if I would have built my books significantly faster if you were in my life when I first started my career. You know what I mean? Just because you always have done stuff like that, would it?
Oh, would you have built them faster?
Yeah, yeah. Like, would you have kind of pushed the whole marketing thing? Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So
for sure.
And just had to,
I'd have been like, oh, you need clients? Here, let me help you.
But yeah, I did what I could with what I had. Yeah.
That's good.
And like
I remember when you told me that you did all that stuff, we had already been together for a while. I was like, oh, really? You did all that stuff? Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's just all about work ethic.
Yeah.
Wanting to work. I think that's all it is.
All right. So what's next here? Kids.
Baby number
family.
3. Baby number 3 is coming in June, and this is definitely the last one. Andrew's getting fixed.
I'm still trying to figure out how this keeps happening. Do you feel part of this?
Yeah, of course I do.
Good.
Of course I do. I mean, listen, yeah, a part of me knows that, I mean, you obviously could have done it without me, but
maybe
you wouldn't be able to raise a family and do what you do without me. So, I feel pretty proud of myself for being able to.
You should definitely feel part of
that.
it. And also the fact that potentially growing something that maybe our children will be part of someday.
Yeah. That'll be fun to watch. That'll be really fun to see which one's interested in it. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to push it on them except maybe every other day.
No, but they really love the Ootbox logo. And they love you, like I think I'm your biggest fan, but they definitely are. I mean, how many times did they watch the Leprechaun video,
TikToks.
or the Wii? Yeah. They're obsessed with it. I mean, they'll cry for it. It's so funny. So, it'll be really interesting to watch them grow and see which one. It's funny how entertaining they find. See which one really gravitates.
I'm like, well, if nobody else watches my videos, at least I know you guys are going to watch them a couple times.
Literally hundreds of times, over and over and over. Yeah, it's really cute. It's fun. It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch them be a part of it too.
Yeah. I love seeing them when they come in and like run around and start playing and stuff.
Yeah, they get so excited to come to Daddy's house.
Daddy's house. That's what they called the place. This is Daddy's house. Oh, that's funny.
That is so cute.
All right, so
what's next? Kids. Then we're done. Raise them.
No, hardest part of being
a business owner.
Yeah, an independent stylist.
Yeah.
So managing your own book.
Yeah.
Clients.
Yeah.
What's the hardest part of doing it?
The balance. Even though I do feel like I do a really great job at it, it's definitely the hardest because a part of me always wants to be 2 places at once. I always want to be with my kids, and then I always want to be more for my clients. And so sometimes I do feel a little stuck, but yeah, I think the balance.
Do you mean as far as like clients being upset if they can't get a time?
Yeah. Not feeling like enough, right? Like, hey, can you get me in tomorrow at 3:00? Well, there was a lot of times, even if I was off, I'd say, yeah, sure, I'm not doing anything. I'll come in. Well, like I can't anymore. And sometimes that's a good thing, right? It's like, right. But just wanting to be 2 places at once, wanting to, make money. And hairstylist Jessica is a huge part of me, so yeah. Part of me feels the most like my old self when I am working. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the balance of being at work and being the best there, and then
I think balancing anything. I think balancing anything that's that major is definitely a tough thing.
Totally, I've got clients texting me right now.
There it is. Watch.
So literally the whole time.
That's why I don't want to. Everyone's like, why don't you have an Apple Watch? why do you have Apple? I'm like, I'm too fucking connected already. I'm on too connected. I feel like I'm
okay, but this is nice for at work though.
I know.
Daycare.
I know why you have it. I'm just saying me.
Yeah.
Personally.
You're very connected. You always have your phone. I barely ever have my phone on me.
So I'm like, I don't want to be any more connected. Although it would be nice for like exercise stuff and health reasons and stuff to monitor it like that.
It's fun.
Just turn all notifications off on it.
I've enjoyed it.
Then I feel like it would be a waste of its potential.
Yeah.
All right. Coolest part of the studio.
Coolest part of the
What's
studio.
your favorite part of the studio?
I don't know. This room is pretty freaking cool.
Turned out pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's pretty
super pumped about it. I'm so excited to just have doing this again. Yeah. People are always like, "Well, what do you make? Do you make any money doing that?" Why do you always? I'm like,
I enjoy that.
I can't say I haven't made any money because there has been a couple times where maybe somebody that's been on turned into a client.
For sure.
But it's never been intended for that. You know what I mean?
It's It's not like you're getting a paycheck as soon as you walk out of these stores. Yeah.
And then nobody's sponsoring you. I'm not getting sponsored by, we're looking for sponsors. No. Nobody's like sponsoring it. But it's just fun to do. And I like putting out something that's like high quality, like production where you can sit and have a conversation and learn about somebody, talk to somebody, and
definitely,
uninterrupted again. I mean, when was the last time when do you ever get to sit with somebody for an hour completely uninterrupted,
Not
in the
often.
zone, talking, just mono.
So I am a hairstylist.
Well, yeah,
I do get to talk to people like that often, but I'm also doing
a podcast going on all day, every day. Jeez, gotta mic you guys up.
Essentially, but
hey, that's
but
an
I'm
interesting
also
idea. Maybe we should.
But I'm also working, right? So it's multitasking. Yeah. This is like I am just talking, which feels really nice. And especially me and you, right? Yeah. Like we live together.
But it's
constant. There's always something. Yeah.
And maybe at dinner or lunch or something sometimes. But even then, it's like
that's not the same. No. It's very broken. Very broken conversation. Right. And then
interrupted.
Oh, absolutely. And then all the glass. I love all the glass. I know it's got to be a pain in the butt to clean, but it just looks so good. Like
the openness.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Light.
Yeah, you did a great job.
Well, that was very important. So we needed rooms in front of windows. Yeah. But I didn't want to cover any windows from getting through the whole building. Yeah. So that was a challenge.
For sure.
And even the rooms that are existing that do have doors that shut and you can't see the windows, I kind of don't like that. Mm-hmm. I kind of wish the wall was glass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't even. Sometimes I'm actually amazed that things are
kind of surreal.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
and I think that like I honestly don't really care to say a little bit, but it's like you get to a point where you need it. Mm-hmm. Like I need a dedicated room, because at the old studio we had to break it down, set it up, and it just took so much time that it got to a point where I didn't have time to do it because of the extra time it took. And Ryan and I have constantly been streamlining how fast we're able to do this. Get it, like as soon as we're done here, we're going to have a video. We could upload the video, get the audio from it, and it's going to go out to everything. Yeah,
it's time efficient. It's so time efficient.
And before, we had to go back, and then Ryan had to edit it and go back and forth between cameras, and it was just a ordeal. Yeah. And that's what I like about the new space. The one, giving my team something nicer to be in and more space and to create and just be kind of more free with us stuff. Excuse me. But just being able to create more. Mm-hmm.
I agree.
But personally, I kind of liked the grime. I keep wanting to say griminess, but the grind of like feeling like you're trying to achieve something. You know what I mean? We're in a garage. All of us are kind of sitting around. It's just, we're close to each other. And I'm like, oh, yeah, this is great. We got to try to work harder to get something more. And then you get something more, and you're like, what do I want more than this? What are we doing here? What do I need to buy another building? What's the next step? So, no, it's it's cool. I definitely like it a lot. But there's also that, like, the feeling of getting there and, you know what I mean? Trying to get there and trying to, I guess, make it or something. Yeah. That I like too. So just trying to keep that
the humbling
in me.
Feeling.
Yeah, trying to keep it in me of of, what's next, and I think at this point now it's just more clients and giving more people jobs.
Yeah.
And getting the team, and
continuing to grow and skills improving and just killing it.
No.
All aspects.
All right. Hardest. What did I say the question was going to be? Hardest part of being
married to a business owner, specifically meaning you.
Yeah.
So the hardest part.
Let's not bust me out on anything.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not going to bust you out. I don't want this,
joking.
and I don't want this to sound pathetic at all. But
good.
Kind of the loneliness that comes with it, right? Like, the kids are home, and if Brooks does something funny, it's always more fun to kind of laugh at it there with you. Mm-hmm. Or if he's acting like a complete psychopath, it's nice to be able to like give you these eyes of like, oh my gosh, I want to bang my head against the wall, Right. And so I do a lot of that on my own right now. And so I think with some of that comes some loneliness, so that's definitely the hardest part to having a significant other that is so work driven and gone a lot. So,
but it's not as much as before.
It's not as much as before.
Okay.
It's not as much as before. It's definitely not as much as before.
And you do recognize I'm working towards that.
Yes, I do, for sure. But you're always, like you said, what's the next step? There's always going to be a next step.
There's also like, you pick the kids up, so there's like 2 or 3 hours where I wouldn't be there regardless, even if I was working a 8 to 5 job or whatever.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So there is some time there that would be regardless.
Yeah. I mean, your schedule is definitely funkier than someone that works 9 to 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, but that, I mean, like I said, I don't want that to sound pathetic or sad or anything, but that's just kind of the realistic part of what comes with someone who does run a business, right? Like there is just that aspect to it.
Sacrifices are made.
Yeah,
but for everybody, not just the person.
For sure, and it's like I said, it's not to say that I don't feel like I have, a partner or anything like that. I definitely do. You're definitely very present, but you're gone more than just someone with a normal work job. Right. So, and even if you're not working, you're working. You're thinking of things you're trying to do. So,
yeah, I do a pretty good job of not bringing stress home most of the time, though.
No, yeah. You don't ever take like work stress out on us or on me. That's really cool. I remember my dad doing that. Just coming home and he wasn't
being
even
mad or something.
Yeah, at his boss or whatever, and then being frustrated all night. Yeah, you never do that. You never really do that.
Kind of leave it. Yeah, I mean it's there.
Oh, I'm sure it's there, and it's not to say that you haven't ever talked about like little things, but I never feel like that.
Like I'm yelling at you because I'm at work.
Yeah, no. I never feel like the victim of it. Yeah, no, not at all.
It wouldn't be worth it.
No.
If I ever made anybody feel like that, I would rather not be a business owner than, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would. Family is obviously most important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if it was that bad and you were like, tomorrow, like, hey, this is bad.
Yeah.
I don't want you to work. You would. I know you would never do that, but I'm just saying I'd be like, all right, fuck it.
Yeah. No, you don't ever do that. You don't, which is actually kind of impressive. I've never really thought of it like that. Because I'm sure there's stuff that makes you upset all the time.
Yeah. These guys do a pretty good job of not upsetting me too much.
Hear that, Ryan? Write that one down.
Shit, this is recorded. I forgot. No, all right. I don't know. Anything else we should hit on?
I don't think so. It's nice
to
talk to you. It's nice to talk to you for an hour.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Well, I definitely was happy to have you on. I thought it was only right to have you as the first guest back in the first one in the new studio.
Yeah, I feel great about it. I
feel so honored.
I do feel so honored.
No, I definitely it was awesome to have you come in, and I appreciate everything you do to help allow me to do what I do.
Same.
You're a great mother to our children.
Thank you.
And I love you so much.
I love you too.
I love you, babe.
Love you.
Thanks, everybody. Stay tuned for next time, because we're back, baby.